Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Dennis. So today we're going to do a review of a product from Fideco. So Fideco is the way it's spelled. I'll show it to you here in a second. We're going to do a little unboxing and then we're going to show you how it works, show you all the features, and we're going to go from there. Alright, so it is a dual M.2 NVMe docking station, and it will let you clone your M.2 to a secondary M.2, so you can clone your docking station, your operating system from one to the other, and then use that if you want to have it as a backup or any other reason that you might want it. Okay, there's multiple reasons. Just backup alone is very important. So you want to back up your entire drive, have it as a spare in case something happens, in case there's a virus or malware or anything like that. This will give you the ability to do something like that. Of course, there's all kinds of other ways to do that, but this will be quick, efficient, and it'll get the job done. So let's start with the unboxing and see how it goes. All right, so here's our first look. This is going to be the product. We'll get it out and have a good look at it. Okay, Fideco, model M2288. So it's USB 3.2 Gen 2 times 2, 20 gigabyte per second. Dual M.2 NVMe SATA SSD docking station. Okay, so this is important information here. So for M key and B plus M key SSD and M.2 NVMe SATA. All right, talks about your speed, support offline cloning, which is important. So we're gonna get it out, have a look. So first, let's get it out and see what we got. So very cool. It's very small, doesn't take up a lot of room, and it comes in a nice little package. So some of the first things I noticed when I get it out of the box, has a little button here probably to turn it on and off. Once it's turned on, it's covered with a little plastic film, so we're going to get that off so we can have a much better look at the product. All right, of course it shows your NVMe, SATA, both going to go in here, so you can put your M.2 drives in these, and it very clearly, okay, I haven't seen one that does this, and this is where most people are going to have a problem. You're going to try and put your M.2 with your operating system in here and clone it to this one here. All right, some devices don't have that. They don't have the clone showing you this is going to that direction, because if you put it in the wrong way, it's not going to work, and you're basically going to wipe your data. So that is a feature, very simple, very easy to do, that I'm glad that they have included, because without that, you're always going to be wondering, did I put it in the right way? Is it going to clone? Am I going to wipe my data? Now you don't got to worry about it. It's going to give you your percentages of the clone process. Okay? It's going to show you that those are plugged in when it's in. It's going to show you the percentage, and then when it's done, it's going to be 100%. All right? Very, very cool. You have your on-off switch here. Your USB is going to plug in here, and your DC 5 volt for power. Nothing else on the sides, and it has a little rubber felt on the bottom. So this makes it so if you're at an angle or anything like that, it's not going to slide. All right, so it's going to stay put. All right, that's a pretty cool product. Let's see what else comes in the box. So in here, I can already tell there's an adapter, which is going to go into that 5 volt DC slot. All right, so that's where that's going to go. All right, very simple. Just find your spot here, plug it in, and you're ready to go. All right, moving on. What else do we have? Well, we have our USB-C to USB-A adapter. And it looks like these separate. I can tell just by looking. Just give me 1 second. So you have the option to just use USB-C to USB-C, or put that in there. Now you got a little adapter, USB-C to USB-A. All right, those are important little things. Inside we have our manual, and this manual is going to walk you through everything you need to know for your docking station. Okay, it's going to walk you through everything you need to know of how to operate it. And we're going to touch on that as well. They thought of a lot of stuff on this. So before you even need to read the directions, you've already got information here. So it says important, how to read your SSD after it's cloned. All right, for example, your source SSD is 300 gigabyte and your target is 1 terabyte. All right, so you do usually need it to be a little bit bigger than the one you're going from. Just mostly because you probably want extra storage or something like that. And it says for Mac OS, you don't need to follow the rules below. But for Windows, you have two choices. You can insert only the target SSDs into the slot and connect the device to your computer. You'll find that the target SSD only shows 300 gig in the File Explorer. Okay, that's when you're going to want to go to Disk Management to find the unallocated space. All right, so I'll show you how to do that in a little bit here, just so you can get a better understanding. All right, insert both the source and target SSD into the slots, connect the device to your computer, and you will only find the source SSD in File Explorer. Okay, that's why you have to go to Disk Management, find the target SSD, it'll show offline, set the target SSD to online. Okay, then find the unallocated disk, so the rest of the 700 gig from the target SSD, and right click to choose New Simple Volume Wizard. I'm going to show you that so you understand how that actually works. So before we go into Disk Management and show you how all that works, we're going to start off real simple. So you've got your adapter plugged in, you've got your cable plugged in. Now this cable is going to go to your computer. Whether you use USB-C or USB-A, totally your call. Whatever you have available that you can use will work with either one. All right, so turn on your power switch to your to make sure that it's powered up. Your power ports will indicate, and at that point you're pretty much ready to go. Very simple. Of course, don't forget you need this to power it up as well. So a couple things to remember is, first, insert your SSD into the slot, connect your other one. Now this is after you've done your disk management to make sure everything is working right. All right, connect the power adapter. All right, connect your cable to the computer, turn the device on with the on-off switch, and once that's done, the PC, there'll be a blue light that will turn on. All right, so you can do it without a computer. Okay, insert your source into slot A, which it shows you here, and then the one you're going to clone to in slot B. Connect your power adapter, turn the device on with the on-off switch. Now, long press the clone button. Okay, so that's what this is for. Hold it for 5 seconds until the 25% mark turns blue light and starts flashing. And then when the clone is finished successfully, all these lights will be lit up blue, and it will say 100% will be on, or if it doesn't work, the clone will fail. All right, but that's, in a nutshell, that's how you do it. It's an offline method, or you plug into the computer and do it. All right, so very simple techniques, very easy to do. Just don't forget to do your disk management. Like I said, I'll show you that here in a bit, and that's the only other step you're going to need. And we're going to verify it works because I'm going to do a demonstration. So let's get on and show you the disk cloning process. First, starting with the disk management to show you how that works. And then we're going to follow what I just said by putting M.2 in slot A, put the target disk into slot B, and then we're just going to let it go. I'll come back when it's finished and we'll compare the data. So it's going to be, in this case, it's going to be an exact copy. All right, that's the way that's what a clone is. An exact copy, except that when it goes to your bigger drive, you're going to have free space. That's why you need the disk management. So you can use the disk management to expand that extra space to give it to your drive, or you can use it as a secondary partition if you wish. All right, so we're going to move on and do that, and then we'll do the clone. Okay, so a quick way to get to disk management. Go to your File Explorer down here. It may be different on your computer. Go to this PC, right click, and there's going to be one that says Manage. So if yours is not showing, just click Show More Options. Click on Manage, and you can close this afterward. And then under Disk Management, So when you have a new disk, it'll come up and ask you a couple questions. So I'm going to hook it up, get a couple M.2 drives in there, and show you what it will look like when I do that. Okay, so with my two M.2 drives in and hooked up to the computer, if you go with the File Explorer, the interesting thing you'll see is the SSD 1TB 980 Pro is right here. So that's showing up. And then the target is right here. So it assigns a drive letter to each one. Now I don't know why it shows up twice, but it doesn't really matter too much. As long as you remember this is your source and this is going to be your target. So you're going to clone from this one to this one. Now, if for some reason they were brand new drives, that's when you're going to need to go into disk management. So I'm going to wipe these using DiskPart to show you what's going to happen when you first go in yourself. Now you're going to go back to File Explorer, go to your this PC. Okay, so right click, you're going to have to go to Show More Options, click on Manage. Now watch what happens when I do this time. It's going to come up when I go Disk Management, and now there's two drives that were not recognized before. Alright, so disk 3 is going to be GPT. Now, one of the things I mentioned is when you're doing a clone, one's a master boot record and the other one is GPT. So I'm just going to initialize them right now as GPT. Alright, because I do believe it's going to do the same thing. Because I think the other one was already recognized. See, it's right here and it shows online. It's not always going to show it as being online. Right? It could be offline. So if it was offline, okay, and I'm actually just going to do that, all you have to do is go here, right click again, click online, and now it's initializing the disk. The next thing you want to do is, you can leave it like that. I don't know if it'll work, but typically you want to right click, go New Simple Volume, click Next, Next, and it's going to assign a drive letter to it, which is G. You can name this at this time if you want to. So if this is your source disk, you could say source, say next, and finish. It's going to format it, and it will just finish and be good to go. And there. Now you have a G drive healthy partition, and it's the full size. That's not always going to be the way, but in this case that's what worked. So I'm going to assume that that's going to be the default most of the time. So this is going to be your target drive, okay, your G, because your F is your first one, your target drive is your G. So on your F drive, okay, it was already there, it's already recognized, everything was already good. All right, so you didn't have to do anything with that. So when you go to clone, you're just going to push your clone button, hold it for 5 seconds, and it's going to go. So to prove that, I'm actually going to put some information onto this drive, because right now there's nothing there, and then that will copy to the other drive. So let me just do that real quick, and then we'll come back. So in your File Explorer, all right, shows full size, nothing there. So let's just copy, I don't know, I'll find something and I'll put it here. Okay, so now our SSD drive has some information on it. So I want to clone that and I want to put it to my G drive. So if I'm doing this right, all you need to do now is hold down the clone button on our device for 5 seconds and it should start. Well, let's find out. Okay, so as you can see, it's at the 25%, it's blinking. The source disk, which is my one that has the information on it right here, is now cloning itself to the source disk, or the target disk rather, the B drive. Alright, so when that's completely done, all those lights will be lit up. Right now they look like they are because of the way the camera's working, because I'm kind of shining light into them. But they're much darker when you're actually looking at it. So it's flashing, it's just showing you it's at 25%. When it's done, it'll be at 100%. So this is indicating when you're doing an offline clone. So the way I showed it to you before, when you're connecting from this, connecting your cable to your computer here, that will be online. Keep in mind the offline mode, you're not plugged into the computer. The online mode, you are plugged into the computer. That's really the only difference. The thing to keep in mind is the beauty of being able to do it offline. It's much easier. It's just so cut and dry. You know what disk, make sure you know which one it is that has the data on it. Make sure it goes into the source. Make sure the one you're copying it to or cloning it to goes in to where it says target. So it's going to copy from one to the other. The arrow's even pointing in the direction the data is going to go. You can't possibly make a mistake on that. Well, you could, but try not to. It's pretty clear. All right, so I just wanted to show you the difference. When you're on the PC in online mode, all right, so now you can see it's already on the 75% mark because there's not a lot of data on there right now. If there was, it would take a little bit longer. And when it's finally done, it'll go to that final one that says 100%. Wait for it to stop flashing, make sure it's completely done, and your process is complete. And now you can see it's flashing to 100%. So soon the clone is going to be done. SSD from my NVMe drives. Alright, so in a moment we'll show you the rest. And now you can see the cloning process is complete. Everything's lit up, 100%, all the lights are on, it's done. So let's verify that the information from one has now passed off onto the other and cloned itself. Alright, so we'll check that, but we have to plug this onto the computer to verify that, because otherwise you have to plug it into the M.2 drives into your M.2 slots on your computer to verify. But the beauty of this is you can use this device to do that as well. Alright, something I don't think it's just the way it works. You plug it in, you can check your drives, you want to check if you got information on them, it would do that for you as well. So pretty good. Now, if these four blue lights happen to be flashing all at the same time at the end, that would mean you failed. That would mean it did not clone properly. Alright, so just keep that in mind. So something else I want to point out is I used the USB, plugged it into the computer, turned it on, started the cloning process the exact same way as if you're doing it offline, not plugged into the PC. They both do the exact same thing. There's no difference from what I can tell when I've been doing this. It starts the cloning process, it'll continue until it's done, and then you'll see the lights lit up, and it's all good. So whether you want to plug it into the computer or not, that's up to you. But just let you know that that is something that will work for you. Alright, so just keep it in mind that either way you can do it, but personally I would do this in an offline mode myself. I see no benefit to having it online except plugging it in so you can see under disk management and get to your drives, do your initializations, and set your drives up so you can do the cloning process as I mentioned earlier. Alright everybody, so that's the video. Hope it helped you out. Hope it explains it well enough. Great little device. Cost 117 Canadian. You can get it on Amazon. And it does exactly what it says it's going to do. Clones from one side to the other side. It's very clearly marked. So if you want to know what side your clone is going to be on, that little arrow is pointing to the right hand side. So as long as you follow the information that they provide or this video to help you out, you'll be able to do it. You get a little bit more control over it if you do it that way. But either way, the device is going to let you do it offline, online, whatever your choice is. So if you like the video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, think about subscribing. Hit that bell for notifications for for videos as they come up in the future. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.